Let us examine how to use UV Mono and Mono Max effectively on different surfaces. Open the box carefully. Always wear goggles and gloves supplied by UV Care during disinfection. Ultraviolet sterilizer lamps should not be used to disinfect hands or other areas of your skin. Exposure of UVC directly to skin may cause sunburn, and looking directly to UVC lamp can damage eyes. UV handheld sterilizers are used only for surface disinfection. Always make sure to keep the sterilizer in 3 to 5 cm distance from the surface to achieve faster disinfection. Ultraviolet C radiation of wavelength 254 nanometer is used in UV Mono and UV Mono Max to deactivate viruses and bacteria from surfaces. Ultraviolet light is invisible to human eyes. This can only be measured using ultraviolet intensity measuring meters. This is an intensity measuring meter, specifically used to measure the germicidal wavelength of 254 nanometer. Let us examine the intensity of UV Mono from different distances. As you can see, when the distance increases, UVC energy falling on the surface decreases. If you are using the device for first time, switch on the device and press the push switch to turn on the UV lamps. Keep it on at least for 40 seconds to achieve full intensity. As you can see, UVC intensity of UV Mono on its surface is above 15 milliwatts per centimeter square. According to research reports and studies conducted by International Ultraviolet Association, UVC 254 intensity of 20 millijoules can deactivate any viruses in coronavirus family. In that case, UV Mono takes 2 seconds to generate that energy on a surface, if it is near to the surface. If we move the device farther from the surfaces, it takes more time for disinfection. So always make sure to keep the device as close as possible to the surfaces for an efficient and faster disinfection. Ultraviolet light is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which includes things like gamma rays, X-rays, infrared light, microwaves, visible light and radio waves. Ultraviolet rays are grouped into 3 categories based on the light's wavelength. There's ultraviolet A, ultraviolet B and ultraviolet C. The sun produces all 3 types of UV radiation, but we only experience A and B on Earth's surface. Within the spectrum of ultraviolet light, UVC, which sits at 200 to 280 nanometers, is in the germicidal disinfecting range. How does UV kill virus? Ultraviolet light kills cells by damaging their DNA. Exposure to the electromagnetic radiation of 254 nanometer wavelength modifies the genetic material of microorganisms and destroys their ability to reproduce. The UV energy triggers the formation of specific thymine or cytosine dimers in DNA and uracil dimers in RNA. This causes the inactivation of microbes by causing mutations or cell death as well as failure to reproduce. Ultraviolet light is effective against many different kinds of viruses, many types of bacteria, even some very hard-lived bacteria that can produce pores with thick coating on them. What is UV dosage? UV as a disinfection principle is effective against all microorganisms, provided the correct dosage is applied. If the proper UV dose is not used, then the microorganism will not be killed, and instead, put them only into a dormant state. UV intensity dependent on lamp type, lamp power and reactor geometry. There are 2 types of glass tubes used in UV germicidal lamps: quartz glass and soft glass. UV Mono uses 1 quartz glass UVC lamp and Mono Max uses 2 quartz glass UVC lamp of 16 watts. Here are some applications of UV Mono and Mono Max.
Contact UV Care to know more, and visit us on www.uvcare.in.